It's 2026 and Hollywood's most famous family is officially gone forever. 10 years after the plane ride that changed everything, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are finally divorced. But their 6 kids have picked sides. They're all grown up now, and they're building their own lives while cutting their father out completely. Get ready to see the shocking truth of what happened to them. To understand what's happening in 2026, we need to go back to the one moment that destroyed this family. The date was September 14th, 2016. The family was flying from their great farm in France back to Los Angeles on a private plane. For years, we only heard whispers about what happened up in the sky. But now, we know the scary details that made Angelina ask for a divorce just days later. Reports from the FBI say there was total chaos at 30,000 feet up in the air. It was a long flight, and everyone was upset. The report said that Brad had been drinking a lot of alcohol. There was a fight that got completely out of control. It wasn't just yelling, people started getting physical. The paper said that Brad choked one of the kids and hit another one in the face. Imagine how scared the children must have been watching this happen in a small metal tube in the sky. The situation got even worse. There were reports that Brad grabbed Angelina by the head and shook her hard. At one point, beer was poured on Angelina while she was hiding under a blanket. Then, red wine and beer were poured on the kids. When the plane finally touched down in Los Angeles, there was $25,000 worth of damage from spilled red wine everywhere. This was a total disaster. Angelina took the kids and left right away. The FBI looked into what happened because it took place in the air over the ocean, but they eventually stopped the case without charging anyone. However, that plane ride ended the marriage and started a war that would last for 10 whole years. You might think a famous person's divorce takes a year or maybe 2 years. This one took 8 long years. It wasn't until December 2024 that a judge finally said the divorce was done. Why did it take so long? It wasn't just about who gets the couch and the TV. It was about who gets to see 6 children and a great farm worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Angelina wanted to help her family heal. Even though they were called legally single back in 2019, the fight over money and stuff kept them connected until the very end of 2024. Now in 2026, they are finally free. But being free doesn't mean they like each other. The bad feelings are still there hiding beneath the surface of their separate lives. Even though the marriage is officially done, there's one place where the fighting has not stopped. It's a beautiful property in the south of France called Chateau Miraval. This is where Brad and Angelina got married. It's where they thought they would live happily ever after together. Now, it's the center of a $350 million court case. The problem started when Angelina wanted to get out of the wine business. In 2021, she sold her 50% piece of the winery. She didn't sell it to Brad. She sold it to a company owned by a Russian super rich guy named Yuri Sheffler. Brad was really mad. He took Angelina to court, saying they had a secret promise that neither would sell without the other person agreeing first. Angelina had a reason for selling to a stranger. Her team said she wanted to sell to Brad first, but they said that Brad told her she had to sign a huge non-disclosure agreement. This would have stopped Angelina from ever talking about Brad's bad behavior. It was a way to keep her quiet about the plane ride and the abuse claims. Angelina refused to be silenced. She said no to the hush money and sold her piece to the other company instead. As we stand here in 2026, the court battle is still going strong. Brad is right now suing Angelina for $35 million in damages. While the court cases drag on, Angelina Jolie has rebuilt her life. Her net worth in 2026 is guessed to be at $120 million. She lives in one of the most famous houses in Los Angeles. She bought the Cecil B. DeMille estate for $25 million. The house is huge. It has 6 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. It sits on 2 acres of land with beautiful gardens and a pool with fountains. Angelina also loves fast cars. Her garage is full of fancy rides. She owns a 1958 Ferrari worth over $1 million. She also drives a Jaguar and a Mercedes. She made a huge return to movies with the film Maria. In this movie, she plays Maria Callas, the greatest opera singer of all time. Movie reviewers called her performance commanding. She's also directing a new movie called Stitches set in the fashion world of Paris. The movie is expected to come out later in 2026. Angelina is filming it in Paris, and she has hired her sons Maddox and Pax to help her on set. It's clear that Angelina is building a family business where she's the boss and her kids are her partners. Angelina also jumped into the fashion world with a bold new project called Atelier Jolie. This isn't just a clothing store. It's a creative space located in New York City. The building is legendary. It used to be owned by the famous artist Andy Warhol. Angelina kept the history alive. The outside of the building is still covered in street art and graffiti. It's a place where artists and refugees can come to work and create eco-friendly fashion. Across town lives Brad Pitt. At 62 years old, Brad is richer than ever. His net worth in 2026 is guessed to be over $500 million. He sold a large chunk of his movie production company in a deal that said the company was worth $300 million. His movie F1, released in 2025, was a huge hit around the world. He worked with Lewis Hamilton to make the most realistic racing movie ever. Brad is not alone in his mansions. He has a serious girlfriend named Inez de Ramon. She's 33 years old, which makes her 29 years younger than Brad. Inez is smart and successful. She speaks 5 languages. She works as a high-level boss for a jewelry brand called Anita Company. Brad and Inez have been dating since late 2022. They moved in together in 2024. Now in 2026, they're fully living together and very serious about each other. Brad has always been obsessed with houses and buildings. His masterpiece is a house in Carmel Highlands called Seaward. He bought it for $40 million. It looks like an old castle hanging onto a cliff. It was built in 1918 from local sandstone and granite rocks. It's private and far away. Back in Los Angeles, Brad owns the steel house. He bought it for over $5 million. It's made of steel and glass. Brad actually sold the huge property where he raised the kids for $33 million in 2023. By selling it, Brad closed the door on that chapter of his life. Brad's car collection is even more crazy than Angelina's. He owns an Aston Martin Vanquish Carbon Edition. He also has a Lamborghini Aventador, which is the most expensive car in his collection. He also owns a bunch of custom motorcycles. He loves bikes because he can wear a helmet and ride around without anyone knowing who he is. Now, let's talk about the children. In 2026, the Jolie-Pitt kids are adults, and they're making their own paths. Maddox is the oldest at 24 years old. He's the protector of the family. He was the one who allegedly stood up to Brad on that plane in 2016. In 2026, he's a grown man with a serious career. Maddox graduated from a university in South Korea. He studied biotechnology and life science. He speaks perfect Korean and is super smart, but he didn't become a scientist. He went back to movies. He's his mother's right-hand man. He worked as an assistant director on her movie Maria, and he's working on her new film Stitches in Paris. The relationship between Maddox and Brad doesn't exist. Maddox has zero contact with Brad. He spoke against him in court during the custody battle. He doesn't use the name Pitt. He's 100% Jolie. Pax is 22 years old. He's the rebel and the artist of the family. He creates abstract art under the fake name MTO. His art is described as dreamy but violent. He wanted people to judge his art and not his last name. In July 2024, Pax almost died. He was riding his electric bike in Los Angeles traffic. He wasn't wearing a helmet. He crashed into the back of a car, stopped at a red light. People who saw it said his mouth was filled with blood. He hurt his head badly, and his hip was in pain. He spent time in the ICU. Angelina was by his side every single second. Brad was reportedly really upset, but kept his distance. Pax is also very angry with his father. On Father's Day in 2020, he posted a private Instagram story that got leaked to the world. He called Brad a world-class terrible person. In 2026, that anger hasn't gone away. Zahara is 21 years old. She's the anchor of the family. She's smart, social, and grounded. Zahara goes to Spelman College in Atlanta. It's one of the best historically black colleges in the country. She's doing really well there. In 2023, she joined Alpha Kappa Alpha, which is the first black sorority in history. It was a huge moment. When she introduced herself to her sorority sisters, she shouted her name as Zahara Marley Jolie. She dropped the Pitt right there in front of everyone. It was a loud statement. Shiloh is 19 years old. Her story was the biggest shocker. Shiloh was always seen as the golden child, the first biological daughter of Brad and Angelina. She looks exactly like both of them. But on her 18th birthday in May 2024, the very first thing she did as an adult was file paperwork to legally change her name. She hired her own lawyer and paid for it herself. She wanted to be just Shiloh Neuville Jolie. It was a huge public rejection of her father. She erased his name from her identity legally. Shiloh is an incredible dancer. She trains at elite studios in Los Angeles. Videos of her dancing went super popular on TikTok. She was seen dancing to the hit song APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. She's moving away from acting and into the world of professional dance. Vivian is 17 years old. She's the twin sister of Knox. She's quiet, thoughtful, and loves the theater. At just 15, she helped her mom produce the Broadway musical The Outsiders. Angelina said Vivian was a tough assistant who took the job seriously. The show was a hit and won Tony Awards. In 2025, she was spotted working as an usher at a concert for the musical Reefer Madness. She was showing people to their seats just like a normal teenager. Just like her sisters, she listed her name in the playbill as Vivian Jolie. She dropped the Pitt professionally even before she could do it legally. Finally, we have Knox. He's 17 years old. While his siblings are into art and dance, Knox is a fighter, literally. He trains in Muay Thai kickboxing. He's ripped and athletic. In July 2025, on his 17th birthday, he won a gold medal at a Muay Thai competition in Los Angeles. During training, he was seen fighting hard and even got a bloody nose. He didn't stop. He wiped it off and kept fighting. In late 2025, Knox showed off a shocking new look. He buzzed his hair short and dyed it bright pink. Knox is the only one who hasn't publicly dropped the Pitt name yet. However, Brad wasn't in his big fight. Only Angelina and Vivian were there to cheer him on. Reports say Brad only sees the younger twins once in a while. So what does the future hold for the Jolie-Pitt kids in 2026? The sad truth is that the family unit we once knew is gone forever. The Brangelina era is ancient history. Today, we have the Jolie dynasty and the Pitt empire. Angelina has successfully brought all 6 children into her world. They work on her movies. They help with her fashion brand. They live in her homes. They carry her name. She's raised a group of artists, fighters, and thinkers who are fiercely loyal to her. She plans to move to another country as soon as the twins turn 18 in July 2026. She wants to take her family to Cambodia or Europe and leave the drama of Hollywood behind. Brad Pitt stands alone in his castle on the cliff. He has tons of wealth and a legendary career. He has a new partner and a new life, but the bridge to his children seems burned, maybe beyond repair. He's tried to reconnect, but the damage from that plane ride and the years of legal fighting is too deep. The shock isn't just that they divorced. The shock is how completely the children have chosen a side. In 2026, the kids are all right. They're thriving, but they're doing it as Jolies, not Pitts. And that's the reality of Hollywood's most famous family.